DJ Event Planner will change the way you manage and run your business. Streamline all of your procedures and software into one easy-to-manage system. DJ Event Planner, the ultimate online planning tool.
No intro?
Good evening and welcome to Running Your DJ Business with our special guest tonight, Nick Spinelli, joining Keith Kokoruz.
Hey!
How you doing, Nick? What's up, buddy?
What's up, Keith? How the hell are you?
Welcome back, my good friend.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
When we were on last time, the internet went crazy. You were a huge hit. We got to like 7 viewers. It was iconic.
I heard.
So it was huge. It was huge. So
I sent out all 7 checks last week. So
did you? Oh, yeah. That's nice. That's good. So Brian is off today. I don't know if you tune in that regularly, but he's involved with a project called the Birthday Project. And so what he does is he donates his time. And what happens is he helps families that aren't capable of throwing birthday parties for their kids. They're just financially strapped. And so he helps throw an amazing birthday party. And I don't know if this was like a fundraiser to help raise money for the toys, or if he actually had a whole bunch of kids whose birthdays were in the month of September or thus coming up, and was throwing a big party where he was a DJ. But that's like his cause. That's his thing.
Really
and,
cool. Yeah.
Very, very cool. It's part of a national thing. I had never ever heard of it before. So I was pretty excited when he told me about it. So I have my own toy drive here for the Christmas season that we do. And so as a result of that, in my opinion, I'm spreading myself pretty thin to begin with. So I kind of stick with my own thing, which on that subject, guys, I haven't gotten the official letter, but Serato's come on board with our toy drive, and they're going to be giving out a bunch of multiple licenses for their stuff. And then Tony is told me he's working on getting me some very special, like autographed vinyl from some artists that is all going to go up on the online auction, and that should be going up hopefully within about the next 2 or 3 weeks. So we've got donations from Disc Jockey News, Blizzard Lighting sent us some stuff, EV sent us a microphone, Joe Bunn's got a care package, so did Randy Bartlett, and then I'm just pounding the phones and emailing away. So if there's any manufacturers and you want to get involved, we would love it, because all of the money that we raise on the online auction is all going to be used to purchase toys. So pretty exciting stuff.
Really cool.
That's awesome. Yeah. So tonight is kind of a deviation from my typical topic. My typical topic is really about the business side of the business, and I don't talk performance or DMX lighting or mixing or subwoofers or any of it. But, today is about selling, how you sell your performance to clients, which is still the business side. But to a degree, I think part of it is also, obviously, the best place for us to sell is when we are crushing a wedding reception. And they're coming up to you and they're going, "Oh my God, dude, you are killing it." As Jason Jen, I would say, it's a dope. You're a dope. This party's lit. And so as a result of that, he's given me that, like, you're old. You're an old guy. You're not with it. Don't try to act with it.
You're so close to pulling it off, though. You're like so
Am
close. I just need a week.
Millennial beard. Do you see this millennial beard? If I dyed this stuff a dark color, I wouldn't look as old. I'd still be fat, but I'd be old.
What's millennial about it? You've been growing it since 1980?
No, there's a very funny video out. Somebody took an old Chevy Pacer, Chevy Cobalt, and it had all of these, like, they were talking to millennials, and then they dropped in a total studio. It must have been on a green screen. They dropped in this guy with a Bostonian accent, and it was like Mark Wahlberg on crack. It was so funny. And he's just ripping on all of these. Like, they edited it up in such a way that they were like, oh, I'm not sure if I like that. And he's like, yeah, it's because, you're stupid. You're stupid because this car's a piece of crap. Yeah. And it's the funniest thing. I saw it this morning, and I was in the diner having breakfast, and was actually laughing out loud like a lunatic sitting on that. But part of it was they were making fun of how every millennial now has tattoos and beards. And a beard, it's a thing. Tattoos, beards, and piercings. Do you have? You don't have a beard. Are you pierced anywhere? No.
I had my ears pierced back in the day, but I
did too.
Grew out of that.
Got it.
No tattoos yet. Not saying I wouldn't.
I've got some ink, but I keep it covered, so it's all good. So
you don't have to anymore. It's 2018.
Here's what's funny. I find
it's on your face.
Yeah, that was the other thing. He was making fun of me. He goes, yeah, because you got a stupid neck. You got a stupid neck tattoo that's going to be with you for the rest of your life. What are you going to wear? A turtleneck every time you have something important to go? I'm like, okay, he's got kind of a point. So
I don't know.
I'll find
more accepted. That's insane.
It's not a matter of accepted. Here's the thing. Like, I got my first tattoo after the age of 40. And it was one of those things where I kept like, it's permanent. It's forever. It's forever. And then I started going, it's going to be covered on my sleeve, my shoulder anyway. So who cares? And here's what's weird though. I have to say this. I love tattoos on women, except when I see them like wearing it at a bridal party or a tattoo on the back of a woman on her wedding day. I don't know. To me, I just don't dig it. I really don't dig it.
I guess it depends on the art for me. It depends on the art. I mean, I've seen bad, you see bad tattoos, you see nice tattoos.
Oh, yeah.
It just depends, but each their own.
Right. No, I get you. I got you. So anyway, going back to it. So it's all about, to me, like when we talk performance, obviously the best way to sell yourself is that you're crushing it and you are I gotta have you kind of a thing. Do you agree?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I think you got to start with like your brand. I mean, so when you're selling yourself, number one, 99.9% of brides already looked you up online or will look you up online. So I think that the message you convey to them should match the message that you have online. I think that's like the first thing
I'm not disagreeing, but again, to me, the best way that you're selling your performance is John Doe and Jane Smith happened to be engaged and they went to their cousin's wedding, and there's Nick Spinelli on the ones and twos just crushing it. And then when they come up to you and say, we're getting married next year, they don't care about your brand. They don't care about your Instagram. They don't care about anything. They're just living in the moment going, this dude's killing it. Right?
I would say as long as they form that opinion on their own, I wouldn't want to I never want to come off like, listen, I'm going to crush your wedding. I'm going to be the best. Like, I don't like coming off like that.
No, not like that. But I'm just saying, like, if you're a guest at a wedding,
yeah,
that's great. I think the second best, obviously, is, we were at a wedding, or my parents were at a wedding, or one of my coworkers was recently at a wedding, and they saw you, and oh my God, they just went on and on and on and on about you or Jason or whoever it may have been. And to me, that's like the number two. So that's like the Kevin Bacon thing, and so there's that. So, and then there's they kind of got either a referral, a warm lead, or even a cold lead. Like, I still consider like referrals from banquet hall somewhat cold. They're not like you're randomly calling off of a list, but they're saying, SCE is on this list and they do a good job. And so is Elite Entertainment, and so is probably I can't not Excite. Jordan Marshall's company. Extreme Evolution.
No. Sorry, Jordan, if you're watching this, I'm a dick.
He's not. So, but no, it's one of those things where, and my point for bringing these, and if you guys don't know any of these guys, it's okay. But the thing is that Nick will say is these are good companies. Like if you're on a list with 2 or 3 other good companies, it's a lot harder to sell yourself than like, okay, this is Acme Legit Shit DJ company, or photography company or video company for that matter, and kind of go from there.
Yep.
So
100%.
My whole point is, now that there's that, the question is, where do you find? So let's even role play if you don't mind. Like a bride calls or emails and says, "I got your name from Acme Widget Banquet Hall," and you respond with what? Let's say it's a phone. Do you get many phone calls or no? Or is it really all email for you too?
Either an email, rare email, or through Instagram. I mean, you got to realize I'm coming from a separate, like a different kind of world because I don't own a company. So like I'm working for SCE, and how SCE works is that they handle all the leads, and then they kind of people, if they saw me or they want me, they would inquire with SCE, and then they would set the appointment, and then I would meet with them. So like I don't really usually get the initial contact. No, I mean, well, people hit me up on Instagram often. Hey, are you available for this day? So first thing is, what's your exact day? If they don't give me the day, I make sure I'm available. If I'm available, great. Love to be a part of it. I'd love to sit down with you. If you could just, reach out to so-and-so at SCE. They'll set up an appointment and then we go from there. And then everything else is done in person or on the phone or via FaceTime. I sit down with every single couple, 100%.
So you do a FaceTime. Will you do that before? Like before they even come in, or is that in lieu of coming in based on
in lieu of
based on anything?
If they're not close to the office or if it's not feasible, we'll do like a FaceTime meeting. Phones are more, it's more rare to do a phone meeting. I'd rather not do a phone meeting, but like that's like worst case scenario. That's actually the only time you ever do a phone meeting is if it's like a conference call where it's like the couple, like the bride is in one area and the groom's in another. But that is solved now with iOS 12. Now we can FaceTime up to like 20 people at once or something like that. So that's cool.
Interesting. Gotcha. So how often do you find yourself using technology in lieu of face-to-face meetings in an office?
I'd say it's 60-40.
Really? 60% online or 60% in the office?
60% on FaceTime and then 40% in the office.
Really?
For me personally, yeah.
Okay. I'm saying hello to a bunch of people that have all said hello already.
Yeah, should I share this? I should share this.
Yeah,
did you share it on your page?
Absolutely. I've had it shared earlier, but I had a little minor. I had a fire I had to put out just before, we went on air. So,
where's the live feed here? Disc Jockey News.
So sorry about that. Okay. So anyhow, so a couple quick hellos. So we've got DJ Trent Slater, David Ellick, Reggie Kempf is all on YouTube. Rick Shunk is in the house. And then that's on YouTube. And then, wow, John Young's actually watching. So Nick Dicker, Mike Riley. So we got a bunch of people jumping on. So awesome. Here's what's interesting. I have a theory, quite frankly, that the future of a lot of businesses is going to be cubicles, offices, what have you, are going to be set up with proper lighting, video, what have you, so that somebody calls, and I think the future is going to even be more and more FaceTiming. Like, it's going to be like not talking on the phone is probably going to be replaced with talking on the phone via video. Would you agree?
Absolutely. I think it might even go to virtual reality one day where we'll be able to sit with someone who's not in the room and like actually feel like put on something and actually feel like we're there, the way it's moving. They might take like FaceTiming to the next level. It's going to be less and less in person, if that's what you're saying. I think so too.
Right. You think like that the future of dating is going to be that way too? Like, you think like a Match.com, you'll actually do like a virtual date, get to know that person before you actually see each other.
I mean, wouldn't that be great? You could see how creepy they are or not, like that would be awesome if he could do that, take away those.
I guess, and cheaper for a guy, right? I mean, like if you just are in a virtual reality room and you're just chatting, so no more buying that expensive cup of coffee or that expensive steak.
Yeah, and they say something you don't like, you can just hang up the VR call. Bye.
Gotcha. Sure.
That's it.
So I just saw Brian Bonacisi tuned in as well as Thomas Heath. So hello. I don't know how Brian's he's supposed to be working. And he just went by. So he must have just been for a moment. So, okay. So 60% of yours are just doing face-to-face, kind of like what we're doing now, but through, is it just FaceTime on your phone? Is that what you're doing it as?
No, on my laptop.
Okay. Got it.
But same thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Very cool. And you're on a Mac or PC?
Mac.
Okay. Very cool. Okay, so now that you're face to face, do me a favor. Walk me through the young hip DJ style of consultation.
Are you ready for this?
I'm ready. I'm down, brother. I'm down.
No, it's really not rocket science. I always start. I say what's up. I ask them what their vision is. What their whole vibe is. If they've been to any weddings recently, they've seen anything they liked or didn't like. Just kind of get a feel for them ahead of time. And I listen. I do a lot of listening. What music do you listen to in your car? What's your family like? What's your guest list like? Is it more family? Is it more friends? How did you hear about us? And you just like ask you kind of just get to know them that way. And then from there, once I have a good understanding of like where they're coming from, what they want, how I may know them or how I may have seen them and everything else, then I go into how we handle the planning process and just how I, and my personal style and my story kind of like, I hate talking about myself. Like I hate it, honestly.
But to a small degree, without bragging, you kind of have to give some brief background.
I give the brief back. It's like brief. Right. It's like, all right, this is how I started. Just so you know, I'm the young, and I always point I'm the youngest guy, but I have a lot of experience and so on. Cause I'm, more on the young side compared to like most people in the industry, I guess, or whatever. So I have to point that out. And then I talk about, how long I've been full time and then my personal style and then how I am at weddings. So like where me personally, I'm more about DJing. Like I DJ a lot and I MC a little less, if you would say.
Okay. But is that that's the SC style, isn't it? Overall?
Pretty much. Yeah. 100%. Yeah.
I was going to say, because like I see you guys playing like a remix of Sweet Caroline, but I've never known the SC guys to be, screaming like everybody sing now, and
we
like a big
just like everybody else.
Yeah. Yeah. So will you feed the lyrics to a guest?
No, absolutely not.
So what do you do? So you're playing Sweet Caroline. What's your MC tactic? What do you do? Just play it?
First of all, it's a dinner song. I play it during dinner. I watch everybody sing, and then I go on to the next thing. I'm mixing.
Okay, what about Don't Stop Believing?
I let them sing it, and I mix in the next one. I don't.
So you don't push them to sing along?
No. I mean, maybe. Okay, maybe every once in a while, sing it if you know it. But I'm listening, Keith.
Okay.
Listen, Keith. I know it sounds. I move fast.
No, I get to it.
I'm moving fast. Styles. I'm going from, and it's just, and that's and that's why I brought up. I guess I jumped ahead before, but like that's like my personal style. That's my personal brand. That's what I do. So like most of the couples I meet with want that, and I think it's important that you portray that. Like I'm not scared to turn
most
down
of the couples, but here's the thing. But when you say most couples want that, that's because you explain your style during your consultation, right?
Not necessarily. I mean, a lot of them already know when they come in because they've already looked up everything. So they'll stop me mid-sentence. Like they'll watch like any videos I've done or anything. I can't tell you how many couples come in and they've seen my tip videos and they're like, and so I'm in the middle of explaining, well, this is kind of we watch all your tip videos. So like they're my couple because they watched me online and they agreed with what I had to say, So It's
Now,
kind
do
of
you
cool how
videos for weddings too, or just are you talking about they've seen your DJ tip videos?
well both. I mean, I have tons of vlogs, of course, but
Right.
the tip videos have like literally narrowed down. Whereas like almost every client I meet with is like the client for me, you know. Whereas like the client that wouldn't be for me, I wouldn't say it's like if a client wanted a bunch of line dances and they wanted like crazy interaction. I can't say that like I can't. Obviously I can do it, but it's not, you know.
But it's not what people are coming to you for.
No, and it's not like my
Right.
personal, you know, not what I prefer to do nowadays. It was back in the day when I loved doing that stuff, you know.
Sure.
Different
Gotcha.
Nick, different decade.
Different Nick. Different decade.
Yeah.
All right. So step one, I mean, how often do you find so you do a video call with a customer? Like, is that it? And then you go right to contract? Is that pretty much it?
I mean, we can meet as many times as they'd like. I mean, it just depends.
No, I get it. I'm just curious about your booking process. That's all.
Yeah, I mean, we meet, and if they like, you know, it went well, then they go to contract, and then I'm kind of here every step of the way. So
And
some
then
couples I meet
via
with
video, how do you upsell them a photo booth, or how do you upsell them, you know, bigger production packages?
we're laid back. I mean, I kind of even towards like the final meetings and stuff, you know, if they don't have any lighting, I'll you know, mention it to them. Did you think about this? You know, I talk about all that stuff during the meeting, so they already like are aware. And you know, if they decide to add it later, or sometimes they add it up front, but we're not pushing.
Okay,
them.
so when you say you talk about it during the meeting, I guess what I'm trying to get at is via video. Are you like holding up a picture? Are you like, how are you showing them like what I mean, I know uplighting's uplighting, but to show them something cool production wise, or why they should have flat screen monitors at their event, what do you show them? Do you show them anything?
So if I'm FaceTiming, you're limited. I can't really,
Right.
you know, I'm not gonna hold up pictures, right? But I would send them links and stuff afterwards that outlines everything. That way they could see it after. And I'll tell them like, listen, you know, you probably to get a better visual, I'll send you stuff after. I'll shoot you an email after this and have everything. Okay. You know, but in person, I would show them stuff.
So are most of your personal packages pretty laid back, like primarily speakers, some basic lights, or?
No, I do more production. More than not, I do pretty like at least like moving heads and uplights and stuff more than not.
And is that included in the package when they book you, or is that an upgrade?
Upgrade.
Okay.
Yep.
So you're able to do that all. You're able to do all of that because of you just send them links.
That, I mean, it's a combination of things. I mean, maybe
that's what I'm trying to figure out. Okay.
I connect.
Goddamn millennials, they just don't explain things.
You want to know the secret, Keith?
I want to know the secret.
Every couple I connect with on social media. So they follow me on Instagram. So in 3 months after I meet them, when I'm at their venue, they can check my story and see that I'm at their venue. I'm like, hey, this is what we're doing for this. This is what we're doing for that. And maybe they see something there that looks really cool. Yes. So that's a big way where hey, listen, they'll email me. Hey, we were just watching your stories and we saw you're at so-and-so venue. We thought the monogram looked really cool. We love the lighting. Can we add that? Is that the what? They might have their questions. I answer their questions and they add it that way. Or sometimes just from the links, or you know what I mean? But I always connect with them. So that's why I'm always on my story. I'm kind of always on Instagram to kind of show, you know, not just to hear myself talk, but to literally show all the brides and everybody that follow me, like, you know, this is where I'm at, and like, look how cool it could look and everything else, you know, give them maybe lighting isn't for them. Maybe they see my video like, you know what, not my style. And that's great, but that's good. That's better than them getting the lighting and then them not liking it, you know? So like, I'm all about being like real and like really like them being happy at the end of the day, you know, because the money sales that'll come, like I'd rather them just be happy, whether it's basic cable or the full Shanae package. You know? Right.
No, I get it. I totally get it. I'm just trying to figure out how you are showing them the differences between the basic cable and the Shanae package. And it doesn't sound like part of your shtick has like now that we know that you love me, look at package number 1 or package number 2 or package number 3.
We don't have packages at all. Everything's a la carte.
So but, you don't hand them an a la carte menu. You don't walk through the menu is what you're saying.
No, they get a menu and we walk through it and everything. I mean, I don't know. I guess I would say that I, talk about lighting and how it's a tool and how it's like very useful for me, like to have lighting at the event, to kind of like change the atmosphere and whatnot. But I mean, I'm just not a pushy type or even I'm not saying that you're saying be pushy, but I'm not.
Right. So here's the thing. Ready? I'm your groom, Nick. I think you're not a tool bag. All right. So I want to go ahead and I want to book you.
That means a lot, Mr. Groom. It means a lot.
All right. So where do we go from here?
Well, I'll get you in touch with our office team, and they'll help you with your contract.
You don't even do the contract?
No.
Lazy prima donna, no good, rotten. So really, so you're truly just the talent.
Absolutely.
So it sounds like your office team probably winds up walking them through what I'm trying to figure out. Like, so we're gonna get you set up for Nick for June 23rd, and you're at the Grand Floridian. And have you thought about lighting? Have you thought about this? Have you thought about that? So they really do the selling for you. You're just the fillet on the plate.
Maybe I don't know what they do, honestly. Once they it's all direct contact with them. I don't handle any of the money or contract or any of that stuff. I have no idea what they do. I meet with them. Okay. I make sure that we're a good fit for each other. I answer any of their questions. Right. I'm here every step of the way. I answer every email pretty much within the hour, like all that stuff. But it
doesn't sound like you're actually involved in the sale except for being the talent. Right? It's almost like you're going into audition. Like
you could say that. I guess
the director says, I think Jim Carrey would be great for this role. And you're Jim, so you go in and you sit down and talk to him and go, oh yeah, I can play Elf, I can play Crazy, I can play Latka, I can play whatever. So right?
I guess you're right. Yeah.
Okay. It's just a different style. So
it's not a bad life.
I get it. No. But here's the thing. I have to say, based on what I know of other multi-ops, it's a different selling style. And that's what I honestly find interesting, which was never, I think, the intention of tonight's show. It was more about, how to sell your performance to convince a client that you are the right fit. And then
you realize Nick sucks at selling.
No, but here's the thing. But you don't have to sell. That's the whole point. All you have to do is be the cool guy that they can envision as their main DJ. And then the office takes care of it, is what you're kind of telling me.
Yeah.
Right?
And I mean, yeah, I kind of prefer not to be the sales guy. I'm not a salesy person. I'm not, I'd rather not. I'd rather just be their friend, quote unquote. You know what I mean? I've became friends with many couples, and just and then keep it on that level and just anything they need, and I can answer any question ever. But yeah, I guess you're right. I don't know. I never really looked at it like that. I kind of just keep it moving.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like you've got an office staff that takes care of everything. So it allows you the freedom to just, again, be the talent. Interesting. Yeah. Very, very interesting. I'm just curious for anybody watching, is your company set up the same way, or are you kind of guiding the couple through the entire sales experience and go from there? So, and even we had Jason Jan I popped in too. Look at that. Did I lose you?
Yeah. No, I'm right here.
Okay. No, it got quiet because I started to read the comments and it said SE Group, hey, Nick and Casey, Jason stopping in. Hey, Jason, if you're watching, you can call me anytime about that other thing that we were talking about regarding Nick. So that would be great. Thanks, buddy. Anyhow, so moving on. So then what advice would you give based on, because you worked for another company and then you worked for SC, so you've got a couple of different styles of being in the DJ end of it. So my question to you is, do you have a different style of, like, based on seeing both styles, do you think that the SE style works better, differently? Anything else?
I mean, I'm definitely partial. I like our like what we do way better. It allows us to be just the talent and to focus on that. And we don't have to be salesmen too. It's like wearing two hats, you know, we can focus on just doing what we're doing, I guess, you know?
Sure.
So
Now, do you find yourself still, because you're full time with SCE, so do you find yourself in the office then, like at least 30 hours a week, or no?
Not 30. Yeah, I mean, I do 2 days a week. We all do 2 days a week in the office.
Okay, that's all you do.
Some of us
and then
do
the
more.
rest of the week you're off and you're prepping. Okay, because there's an office staff, a support staff that takes care of it.
Yeah, but it's not like I'm off, like, you know, under a palm tree. I'm curating content. I'm working on my next videos. I'm working.
No, I get it.
There's always stuff doing, but yeah,
you
but
just
like
don't have to be
office,
the guy
usually.
answering the phone the whole time. You're not like, right? You're not.
No, we don't answer.
You're not chained to the phone.
No.
Got it. Okay. So John Levy wants to know, what tools are you using to track sales? So what CRM system does SCE use?
Event Planner.
Yeah, so do I. I'm a big fan of DJ Event Planner. I actually have it for 3 of my different wedding businesses. So who are you looking at? Is that Jason probably watching you on his phone?
He's walking over here right now.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, Jay?
Come into the frame, Jay. Come on. Let's go. Hey, buddy. Look at that. What's happening, Jason?
I don't have my ear pods.
Yeah.
I hear him now.
I checked in from my office on the other side.
Got it. Very good. Very good. So for those of you guys that don't know Jason Janai, Jason's the owner of SCE Group, what technically, well, nothing bad about it, but Nick's boss and the founder, and one hell of a great DJ and a good dude. He's not very good at returning phone calls to people, but that's a personal thing. So John Lay, he wants to know, how hard is it to set up? You know, John, I've been on DJ Event Planner now for about 8 years. And the beginning, it's like driving your very first car. But if you've ever worked with a CRM system before, you'll start to get the hang of it. Cubby's a good dude. He'll get you set up with a lot of the basics. And then the trick is just to customize it to exactly what you want. They can probably also refer you to a consultant that might be able to help you get stuff set up as well. So there's that. Let's see. Anybody else have questions? Doesn't look like it. Thomas, he said, how is having packages equate to being pushy? I don't think it is. And we do some stuff out. No. I don't think that's what he meant. And I don't know if that was something that I had, but I think what it is because you don't go into packages. And that's not your thing. That's kind of how it came out.
That's
so
just
it's not a bad thing
works.
At all.
Packages, you have value. It
Right.
creates value for the couple, however you want to sell. I mean, it's not a matter of being put. I don't,
Gotcha.
in a cat.
So going back to, do you ever find yourself in a situation where your office has set up an appointment for you because you happen to be the guy that's available for the day? Your company was referred by Acme Widget Banquet Hall, and this bride and groom, maybe they didn't do as much homework on you as some of the others, and you just find you're kind of going in cold then, and so they don't really know the awe of Nick Spinelli. So the question being is, do you what do you call it? Are you saying I'm stupid, or what are you doing? You got somebody across the desk from me, don't you?
No.
Okay.
There's no awe of Nick Spinelli. Okay, so if they never heard of me, then I do the whole meeting with my shirt off. That's all.
Okay. Maybe when you were a drummer back in the day, if you guys saw that picture of Nick on there, let's just say he's put on the freshman 15 since he's become a DJ.
Here we go.
I've put on the senior 100, but that's a different story. So anyhow, the fact of the matter is, so let's say that it's somebody a little bit colder, okay, and they don't know Nick Spinelli.
Okay.
How would you give me an idea, or maybe somebody else said, let's face it, there's a lot of people on here that aren't dedicated to Instagram like you are, or aren't dedicated to it to the same degree, or don't have the resources of a Tony or a Jeffrey Scott Gold that can help you edit down some cool stuff, or have your talents. So the question being is, how would you walk them through it if they were less familiar with you?
Really similar. I would ask the questions, listen to them, figure out where they're at, and see if they're really a good fit. I mean, I think that's I am not scared to turn down a couple or just say, listen, I don't think I'm the best fit. I think that so-and-so would be a better fit, or I'm not scared to do that at all. So I think that's like really
And
important
how
to me.
often do you find yourself doing that though?
Very rarely, only because either they've done their homework or they may have just acquired through SCE, but they told our office staff what they wanted, so they made the correct recommendation. Do you know what I mean? So like, it's rare, but like that's if it's cold, like you said, I would just really I would spend a lot of time getting to know what their vision is, you know, who they are, how they met, what music they like, what their families like, how much family's coming, how much friends are coming.
Okay.
Did they go to college, which tells me if like they, you know, they kind of party or they're more conservative, like, all that stuff. Like I want to know like where they're at, you know?
Okay. Gotcha. Very good. And then where do you find a large chunk of your business coming from overall? If you had to generically say, is it primarily people that have seen you? Is it people that have you've acquired via your social media following? Is it referrals from banquet halls? I know you said you do select few bridal shows now.
Mm-hmm.
We know that Jason's hooked up with Wedding Wire, so you guys got that hook up too. So what would you say is if you had to venture a guess, where do most of your clients come from?
Instagram.
Instagram?
Yep.
So, and how do you think they're finding you?
Every time I posted a picture, I hashtag the venue, I tag the venue. So when you book, when any couple books of a wedding venue, they're going to follow their Instagram, they're going to follow those hashtags, and they're going to look at who's been there. I've gotten a ton of couples that way. I was just at the Claridge 3 weeks ago, and they just reposted my picture that I posted on their site, and I got inquiries for the Claridge through there.
Okay.
So that's a big way. People that I know, I'm also at the age where a lot of my friends are getting married. So like connections through social media, that's kind of how we all connect. So like, you know, a friend of a friend or people I went to college with, but I might not have known too well, but they knew of me. And then like we follow each other because we knew of each other, that sort of thing. You know what I mean? That's like probably a large majority that I would.
Okay. So DJ Tony Beats asked, what's the difference between SE and where you were before? And you don't have to say who you were, where you were, but style of companies, just so they get an idea. So in the old company, like you've already explained what the selling process was in the new company. What was the process like in the old company?
I did all the sales, all of them.
You did all of them? So you answered 90%. The phone.
Yep. 90%.
So was it like 90% of the whole company or just for you?
No, 90% of the whole company. I did all the sales.
Okay, so you answered the phones, you emailed out information.
I did everything.
You were the guy grinding, as Mark Cuban would say. So you grinded, and then you had to do the dancing, do the follow-up, and all of that jazz too.
And still did 100 weddings a year. So.
Okay, and the culture by you now is that you've got a support staff that does it so that you guys can remain creative and kind of go from there.
100%. Yeah, that would be the main difference, I guess. And I think most companies do run that way. They have like a salesperson or a couple salespeople, and then they keep it separate. And then, you know,
gotcha.
This was out of the norm.
So, I don't know how to say this. Daily night DJs. Forgive me. I'm like, does Nick own his own stuff, or does he get most of his gigs from SCE? Do his own stuff. So you do everything underneath the SCE moniker. So even with the exception, maybe like your brother's getting married, and even then you probably throw it underneath, like everything's underneath SCE.
I'm exclusive through SCE. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. I'm a faithful DJ.
Gotcha. Very good.
I'm monogamous.
Awesome. Okay. So, excuse me, it's day and night. Like that's where it was.
Oh, day and night.
Because they don't let you space it. What's that?
Kid Cudi.
Okay, so DJ Tony Beats, if you did sales, why did you decide to go to SC as opposed to venturing out on your own? That's a good question. So if you were working for a big multi-op and you obviously knew the business and that, and, you know, again, everybody's entitled to make as much money as possible. Why didn't you just create, you know, Spinelli Entertainment Group?
because I wanted to focus on building my own brand. And I had, if there was no options, if there was no companies that I like really fit in or anything that really, then it would have been an option, but it was last case scenario. I wanted to build my own brand, and I had the opportunity to have such like a really amazing company and to be a part of like such an amazing group at SCE so I went for that. And that way they can handle the money, they can handle the contracts, we can have a great office. They handle all the business side and all the stress that comes with owning a business. All I have to focus on is my performance and building my own personal brand. And that's where I'm able to make my videos and do all kinds of cool stuff behind the scenes, where it would almost be impossible if I was running a business full time. Plus, you know what I mean? Like I'd rather not. It's just a lot, and it's not for everybody, and it's really not for me. I really, it was a no brainer to, the opportunity I had, and I just kind of
good for you. Good. It's great to have a good house in that. So Donnie Lewis says, Nick, you have Keith smiling more than ever. I'm assuming he's being satirical. I don't mean to be growling. I'm trying to balance jumping back and forth because
Am I your MCM? Can I be your MCM? I've been waiting.
MCM. Tell me what an MCM is. I'm
Man Crush Monday. Keith.
No.
Man Crush Monday. Can I be your Man Crush Monday? Hashtag Crush Monday.
No, absolutely not.
All right.
Sorry. You're one of those millennials. So Michael Burke says that's what he needs. He would rather have somebody handle all of the business. And Tony Beats says respect. How many per year? How many jobs a year do you do? That's what Day and Night wants to know.
I do about 110 weddings, and then I do another 50 or so club events, something like that.
Okay.
40, 50.
So he's a really busy guy. A really, really busy guy, guys. So there's no question about it. And you know what? That's a good balance, because let's face it, one of the big challenges, and you might not be facing it, but I know lots of other DJs have, you just get burnt, man. You do a 3-top on the weekend, and then you're like crashing into Monday. And then, everybody wants your time and attention, which is totally understandable from a client point of view. Mm-hmm. And then you still want to go out and visit venues or meet with party planners or track stuff down and go from there. And so it's tough wearing all those hats. And I'll tell you, as a guy couple of years older than you, it gets a little bit more difficult the older that you get. There's no question about it.
And it just comes to a point where you have to pick a road, like I would, you either have to be a really good business owner and run the business, or just be a really good DJ and delegate and have people run the business for you. And it's just a total, I was getting burned out just doing all the sales at the other company full time, and then doing 3 weddings on the weekend, and then coming back Monday and having to start all over, inbox full. It's just a night. I'd rather, so I picked a road. You got to pick a street at some point. And to build a company for 5 years and then be able to pick the street, I didn't want to do it. It's a lot.
Very good. David wants to know what your handle is on Instagram.
At DJ Nick Spinelli. So that's DJ NICK
Gotcha. So then Tony Beat says, I'm fascinated by the fact that you jumped ship. Any animosity between the two companies? Were you able to finish your dates because most of the events are 18 months ahead? What happened when you left? And again, we haven't mentioned the company name. So
when I left,
it's your individual situation.
When I left, I felt really bad, and I bent over backwards. I controlled a lot of things within the company. So I talked to him and I said, listen, anything I can do to help, everything else. We made an agreement that I would finish out all my dates. I left with 84 weddings on the books when I left. So I had 84 weddings to finish out. I was, I think, 50 or 60 weddings deep. And he decided to email all the brides without letting me know, and told them that they can't have me. And it was quite the debacle.
Oh, wow.
I woke up to a shitstorm of texts and phone calls and Facebook messages. Are you doing my wedding? Brides crying, everything else. And it really, when it came down to it, it was just that I was promoting SCE, like just on my social media, just trying to build business over here. And it didn't work with him, because I was still doing his weddings. But then if you go on my Instagram, I'm all about SCE, and it might've been part ego. I don't know whatever it was. I was still handing out his cards. I was doing the right thing, and it kind of blew up. And didn't
just
end too
became
well.
a conflict.
Yeah, so we honored most of the contracts over here, and they came. Most of my brides came over here, the ones that I had left, and
Oh, really? So were
we
you
parted
able
ways.
just to fulfill their balances and such?
Yeah, that's what we did.
Cool.
We matched
That's
their
good.
thing, you know. So
That's
it worked out
awesome.
in the long run. It's all water under the bridge now, but it wasn't a fun situation. And I've heard different stories. Some people let people finish them out. Some people say, no, we're going to get it covered, and you just go. It just would have been better for me to know up front. Like if you were going to say no, don't, you're not finishing them out, great. But if to know that up front and to make my arrangements rather than like halfway, so that was tough.
Sure.
That's what happened.
So
Not gonna lie.
it's fascinating. So I worry about that in dealing with other DJs. So Michael Burke's got his concerns as well. So then, the easiest, let me think for a minute. So at any point in time when you gave your notice, did you think they would pull your jobs, or
Nope.
were you just, you never thought that they would?
Never in a million years. Because also you have to realize that I did the sales. I worked with these couples every step of the way. It depends on your business model too. Like if you have an issue with it, things like this happen with a DJ. If you kind of just do the selling and then you send the guy and the DJ doesn't have a lot of involvement with a couple ahead of time, then maybe you can pull the job, just say, okay, we'll go our separate ways. We'll get your jobs covered. With me, some of these brides I emailed 100 times, met with 3, 4, 5 times. They knew me. We were connected on social media, everything else. So it kind of had to finish them all out. It wasn't really an option.
No, I
never
get it.
thought in a million years, because I had a connection with almost all of them, like almost every one of them. So,
okay. Cool. So now I've got a question for everybody out there. The question being is, do you let your DJs that work for you that aren't an owner connect with all of the brides that they're working for on social media? So, because in this situation, had you not been allowed to do that and you were just Nick the DJ at Acme with your DJ and you hadn't connected with them, whatever, they would have just, it would have been more.
But how do you prevent that? Can you tell an employee that, you're not allowed to connect with any bride? Like you can connect with whoever you like, right?
Yeah.
You can.
Well, here's the thing.
Is that a personal thing?
No,
it's
because
like personal life.
It is, but it depends if it becomes a conflict of interest. And I'll give you an example. My photographers, and even my DJs, I don't want them connecting with the brides, and I do it to protect my own butt. Because again, if I had a really talented guy like you and you were to leave, again, and I've seen this happen with when photographers go out on their own, and I wish them nothing but the best, that entire referral source now from me paying Nick Spinelli, the photographer, okay, now what's happened is he shot their weddings, he's friends with them, he leaves, and sometimes they know more about Nick than they do about the company. And again, it just happens to be the salesperson. I mean, and the bottom line is we do business with people. So what I try to do is push the company, and I brand ourselves that way as opposed to the very specific photographer. And that's where I try to make the brand of the company bigger than the individual and kind of go from there. And so I don't let any of my
Well, how do you do that in terms of photography? Like, how do you do that when like every photographer kind of has their own style? Like, are you able to do you have all your photographers? Are they that similar? You know what I mean? Like, because like I feel like photography is like an art. Like everybody has their own thing.
So it is. But again, most multi-app photography studios different. And again, we try to fit people in accordingly as well. But at the same point in time, if I have Nick Spinelli shooting for me, and he goes out and he does John Doe and Jane Smith's wedding, I don't let him post from their wedding saying, we shot Jane Doe and John Smith's wedding this past weekend at the Acme Widget Banquet Hall. To me, that's my job as a owner is I need to say Fred Fox Studios shot Jane Doe and John Smith's wedding at Acme Widget Banquet Hall. And so I try to always, because the bottom line is they're not contracted with Jane Doe or John Smith. Jane Doe and John Smith are contacted with me. And there's a difference. Even if they're the requested photographer, or in your case, the requested DJ or whatever it might be. And that's where, as I'm listening to this, I go, this all makes sense. This is great. This is great. But at the same point in time, I also, maybe I've been watching the TV show Suits too much, where everyone in that show is taking clients back and forth and back and forth. And again, when I worked for when I owned another company, everybody, when I was asked to leave and I had a falling out with my partner, again, a lot of customers left with me. And that was because I was the face of the company. To a degree, you were the face of the other company. So that's that.
Yeah. But,
And so
you keep your employees happy. They don't leave either.
Listen,
there's a lot of reasons why I left, and it wasn't my fault. So
I understand.
I think it's whatever business model you want. It depends how you want to grow, because like with your way, you're more growing out. So it's about like you're scaling it as like more employees, more work, and that's how. Or if you allow your employees to have their individual brands, and you're going to grow up. You'll be able to charge more for that individual person. You know what I mean? So it just depends like how you want to run it. In my opinion,
Right. Now, our friend Jasmine from Hype,
yeah,
she winds up, what do you call it? Our friend Jasmine from Hype she would have you you'd have your Nick Spinelli page, which is great. But then she'd have Nick SCE, and you could friend all your brides on there. But that Facebook profile or that Instagram is the property of SCEs. So if you wind up leaving, it goes away.
I wouldn't work for any company like that personally, but I understand where you're coming from, and I understand the idea behind it. Totally get it. Like I just that wouldn't be for me. If Jason or anybody did that, I would. Yeah, it wouldn't work for me at all.
Gotcha.
Not that because I'm comfy cozy. I'm not going nowhere.
No. But we're not talking about you. We're talking about a business model, and we're using your experience. You were with another company. You were a main. It sounds like a main MC and a major player in there, and then you left. And again, it sounds like you had become friends with a lot of your customers from your former company.
Yeah.
And some of the ones that were booked there, and then they see you all of a sudden. You're not there. And then all of a sudden they want to find out where you are, which is a testament to you. But again, as a business owner, there has to be a happy median in between. And that's where, again, I think the happy median would be having Nick SCAE group, Facebook page allows you to connect with them and be personal with them, but protects the brand at the same time. That makes sense?
Totally agree. Totally makes sense. I'll just say this, that like, if you keep your talent in a box, like anybody who's like really good and has true talent, they're not going to stay in a box. They're going to go, you know what I mean? The people that are just, getting by, they don't really, whatever. It's a job. I'm making money. They'll stay in that box all you want. Just pay me and I'll stay in your box. But the true talent, the true people that want to like take it to the next level, they'll never stay in a box. They'll go every time. So like, it depends on what type of employees you want, how you want to scale your business, everything else. You know what I mean? Like any of the top people I know would never do that, but
right. So who do you think's a bigger brand then? The Cleveland Cavaliers or I can't think of his name now. LeBron James. Who's the bigger brand?
LeBron James by far.
Okay. But do you think that's the issue? What do you think's the bigger brand, the Chicago Bulls or Michael Jordan?
It's been a while, but
I get it.
Michael Jordan,
he gets paid more money in endorsements than any current playing NBA basketball player. He only made like $250,000. He made no more than I think $250,000 per year as a basketball player from the NBA, and that's just the way the contracts were. And he's worth like $1.6 billion, something like that. So there's that. So DJ Tony Beat says that's tough. Brides sometimes go out there out of their way to friend me sometimes. Now, again, my personal, this is just me personally, I'm not on Facebook for business the same way other people are. I have a business page, which is what I brand, and I post on a daily basis, and I try to post interesting things about the wedding industry and our company and different things happening. And then at the same point in time, I like having a separation of church and state. So I like talking DJ. I like like posting this, and I know you posted on your personal, but you're gonna have brides probably watching it going, this doesn't interest me. Whereas my personal Facebook page are friends and family and DJs. I have a ton of DJs. I mean, a ton of DJs that are doing it. And I was very grateful at DJ Expo this year. I must have run into 20 people I had never met before that were like, dude, we love it when you ramble on Thursday nights. And I'm like, you mean my well-educated, well-thought-out show on Thursday nights? And I just said that. I had breakfast with one guy who was like, can I join you for breakfast? Yeah, absolutely. But at the same point in time, when I like to ramble politically, or if I talk too much DJ, or my whole profile is about the DJ industry, or me promoting Marquee or ADJ or whatever I'm involved with, I personally just choose not to have, I don't friend my clients, to be honest with you.
Gotcha.
So, and that's just my own personal thing. And again, everybody uses it differently.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying one way is right or one way is wrong. It's just different strokes for different folks. That's all. Tony Burke thinks that Jordan is bigger than the Bulls. Okay, that's fair. So the only thing I'll say in the backlash is Jordan can't put 23,000 people into an arena by himself. The Chicago Bulls as an organization can. Yeah. So, and I'm sure there are still more Bulls jerseys sold each year than there are Jordan jerseys sold.
Yeah,
so,
it's been a while.
I understand, but I would say the same thing about LeBron. I bet there are more Cleveland Cavalier jerseys sold by and large than anything else.
Yeah, I don't know the statistics. I mean, maybe their ticket sales went up since he came back. I don't know, though. Beats me. I really don't follow basketball, so I'm not one to talk.
Okay. Well, but even pick a sport. Whether it's football. Okay. So who's your favorite football player? Well, you are fascinating to talk to tonight. You know that?
I mean, you put me on one football. What am I, 9? You know, I love Tom Brady. I mean, there's no one.
But you know? what's your team out of curiosity?
Eagles.
Okay. And who's your guy on the Eagles right now?
I got the whole team's my guy. I don't know. I like, I like Wentz, of course. I like that. I mean,
But again, there's no one specific player that's bigger than the team. That's all I'm getting at.
No.
So, and Tony Beats says that we're getting off topic. We're not actually getting off topic, but it's all about. And he's giving a thumbs down. Well, Tony, when you get your own show, you can talk about what you want to talk about.
Wow, Tony.
So
that hurts, Tony.
Yeah. So, that's funny. Tony Schwartz writes, they've burned more LeBron jerseys than they've burned Cavs jerseys. And that's a very good point.
That's a valid point.
Yeah. So anyway, getting more back on topic because it's that
cracking the whip. Tony cracking the whip.
Tony's going to, what do you call it? He's going to be forced to go watch a rerun of Friends otherwise. Anyhow. So no, it's interesting, and again, I applaud Jason for being an outside of the box thinker when he created this brand and bringing and assembling the right type of things. And John just popped on and said, what do you call it? Is Disc Jockey News bigger than Mike or Joe's show? And we already know Disc Jockey News is much bigger than Mike Walter and Joe's shows. Everybody's bigger.
I don't know. This last episode was fantastic.
Nick Spinelli's personal video that he put out today about don't be a not a D-bag, tool bag is getting more hits than Mike and Joe. So what are you going to do? Anyhow, it's 8:59, which means that John should be making an appearance. Are you there, John? Come on board.
I am.
I hear next week's Mike and Joe show is going to be huge. No, it's not. Be huge. It's never huge.
It will be incredibly huge next week.
It's never going to be huge.
It's going to be pretty huge.
This is going to. This potentially could be the biggest show ever for Mike and Joe.
Yeah? Why is that?
I mean, the guest that they're bringing in is an incredibly stellar, intelligent person who's going to be bringing their perspective. Handsome. Mention handsome.
So let me guess then. Mike and Joe once again have taken something I inspired and created. They're ripping it off. Okay.
No, listen, if you would have made me your Man Crush Monday, that was your chance, Keith. You said no. Bye, Felicia. Bye.
It's a tough world,
Hey,
man.
you go ahead. Remember, that shit's pre-recorded. You don't have the interaction with the audience because there is no audience. Maybe you'll force them to go live they go on at whatever 9 o'clock in the morning on
Wednesday,
a Tuesday
or something, whatever.
So whatever it is. So yeah, it's interesting that they got to pull Nick Spinelli out to get 6 people to actually watch the show because Shay and Joe's kids make up 5.
Yeah.
So, and then we know John's always watching to make sure that nobody drops the F-bomb. And that's about it. So
I think they did drop one once. Yes, they did.
What's that?
They actually did drop one, if I'm not mistaken, because I know we did have to edit one out at one time. I thought it was their show. Yeah.
That won't be me, John. Don't you worry.
Yeah.
I'm a saint.
You are going to be awesome. Taking it to another level.
No doubts.
Taking it to another level.
Tony Beach's red shots fired. Come on now. Please. Please.
I should have said nothing. This is too funny.
Uh-huh. So just to let you know, next week I'm probably going to have a really good guest, which means that in 2 weeks after that, Mike and Joe will have that guest on as well. So, I mean, that's the only way they get rating. Let's see. Mike and Joe have also had Brian Bonacisi on that once, but twice. Who else have we had on, John, that in case they need a guest?
Well, we'll just kind of hang out and see how this is going to go. You know, after Nick is on the show, they may just have to change the whole show completely. You know, the two.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Good God. Yeah. It's going to be Southern drawl and Jersey accents. It's just bad.
It's going to be great.
It'll be great TV. Great TV.
Oh, it's going to be huge. Huge. So what do you got going this weekend, Nick? Anything exciting? Got anything new and exciting coming up?
3 weddings.
Nice.
3 weddings.
Busy weekend.
Gotcha.
Real cool couples. Gotcha. Y'all should be fun. Just line everything up.
Gotcha. So. Any other than Mike and Joe's thing, you got any speaking engagements that been tossing around? Anything you can talk about yet?
I just talked to Mike Weeder, and I'm going to do the New Jersey Disc Jockey Association meeting in January, their kickoff meeting.
Nice.
So
good. There'll be like 6 people there.
I don't know if it's like super firm, but yeah, I think I'll be doing that. So yeah, I'm hoping for a baker's dozen.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
How about March? Anything in March? Anything set up in March yet?
There's a couple things pending.
Yeah.
A couple things pending.
Are there?
Yeah.
That would be good.
2 things pending.
Two
couple
things. Really?
2.
Yeah.
Okay. Good to know. All right. Once again.
And ladies and gentlemen, Keith hates me. It's official. It's official. I am dead to Keith.
It?
Live on YouTube. Dead to Keith. Live on YouTube.
Gotcha. That's all right. All right. So with that, folks, you guys have yourself. Oh, make sure that you guys stick around because not stick around, but keep your eyes peeled for the Marquee Show page on Facebook and on Instagram, because we're going to have our charity auctions coming up shortly. And all of that money, as always, goes to our Toys for Tots and our helping families in need. So with that, folks, you have yourselves a good night. I was saying a safe ride home, but no one's going anywhere because it's not a wedding or a party. So good night. God bless. We'll see you all real soon. Bye-bye.